I'm in Pim's, which I've done this like 5 times at this point. It is my favourite restaurant to eat in Disneyland Paris. I've already got my pretzel, they've given me my little colouring. I'm not going to do the colouring. I've ordered a Tropico because there's quite a few places now where you can't get it, and it's like my go-to drink in Paris. So I got myself a Tropico, but I've also treated myself, because you get a drink with the meal, that's the Tropico. I also treated myself to the mocktail. I'm not allowed to drink at the moment because of the medication I'm on and blood clots, and if you've watched my monthly vlogs, you'll understand. Yeah. And I made it. You have to sort of pour it in and let it sit, and now I'm gonna try it. I've got a feeling, based off of its description, it's gonna be very cherry flavoured. Little pomegranate on top, we'll find out. Slightly cherry tanged Sprite. It's nice, but it is a slightly cherry tanged Sprite. I'm going to give that I quite like it, so I'm going to say 4 out of 5. So, as you saw, it is what it is with Pim Kitchen. It's a buffet, and it has a mixture for a bit of everyone. I would say that today, I think, was my worst experience at Pim's. But it was by no means at all bad. There just wasn't as many options that I can or would eat. There was a lot of fish and prawns, which typically I don't lean towards. So I had pretty much an entire vegetarian diet, which is great if you're vegetarian, because there are definitely more options being added. They have certainly listened to vloggers and reviews. There were a lot of vegetarian options, but I would say it felt like they're steering away from what is the novelty of the place. So normally you can either get a slice of a big burger, or you can get these like mini burgers. When I'm on my own, prefer the mini burgers. When me and Dan go to go around and we get a big slice, I put it in the middle and we both eat it. And that was there, but not until right near the end. All the mini burgers were there, but the big one wasn't. And it was right as I was paying, they put one out, and I was like, oh, I wouldn't have eaten it anyway, but it was just annoying because I already packed everything away. But there was no, they normally do either like a big sub or a hot dog, and there was nothing like that today. Instead, they had what I think was like a pork leg, like a ham, I guess, that they were carving at in the place of where the hot dog would have been. Yeah, and like the chicken like stroganoff thing that I like, they haven't done for a while now, and that was my favourite part. Yeah, so options wise, getting better for vegetarian, but for me, I feel like they're getting less. So much prawn. Dessert wise, they were all pretty much the same as they always are. Lots of little tarts or torts. They do the big Oreo cake, they do the big red velvet cake, they do the big like glazed donut. They still had like the blue and pink custards. Everything was very similar. There was only 2 they had different that I don't remember having before. One was this like lemon dome that I took a slice of. That was very citrus. I couldn't eat it. I could eat the like mousse at the edge, like the thick mousse at the edge, but the actual bit that had the cake in had like a orange jelly filling, and the orange jelly filling was grim. And they had the little Easter tort, which essentially was just like a chocolate tort with like a big, I don't think it was white chocolate dome, but it was like a not a mousse, but like a, you know, the consistency of the Pot of Joy by Cadbury's, that if it was vanilla flavoured. And there was like a tiny little undertone of like a fruit jelly I think they'd used to stick the chocolate base to the chocolate filling. That little bunny thing was the nicest thing I ate in the whole meal. As soon as I was able to crack into it, I just wolfed it down. It was very rich. you need that vanilla-y mousse and that little bit of fruit, because when I had a bit of just the chocolate tort on its own, I was like, I couldn't eat all of this on my own. Yeah, so Pim's wasn't as good as normal. I didn't film as much for that reason. My server was lovely, very attentive. I think I've already mentioned that I'm not allowed to drink alcohol at the moment. And so when I ordered and I wanted to sit and be there for quite a while, you know, I'm on my own, I can enjoy it a bit. So I ordered the drink that comes with it and the mocktail. The mocktail I do think was a waste of money. I'm gonna be honest. I did like it, but like, it was a slightly berry hinted Sprite. Getting the novelty of it, but like, it's just pouring some fruit compote into a Sprite. Sounds awful. But he's all questioning. He was like, oh, no alcohol. And I was like, no, I cannot have alcohol. He was like, cool, understood. And then he saw me taking my medication as I was drinking with the Tropico, and he came around and was like, oh, is everything okay? Like, he was double checking that he'd got this right. And I was like, no, everything's fine. It's just there's less ice in the Tropico, so my tablets can go down better. But yeah, he was really friendly, really attentive, and he was swamped. I think he was looking after the majority of my half of the restaurant. So the fact he was still quite attentive, friendly, checking in on me. He did not check on me once while I had food in my mouth. He was a very good waiter for not doing that. And the worst part is I can't remember his name. I even asked him what his name was and I can't remember it, but he was lovely. Yeah, so that was Pim's. Tomorrow I'm doing something I've never done before, and that is character dining in the evening at Plaza Gardens. I've done it for breakfast before. I don't think I've done it on the vlog. Oh no, I have. I did it 30th anniversary with Jess, Kate and Taylor. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. I've never done it for dinner. I know the characters are different at dinner time. Because in the morning you can normally get, from when we went, we got Tigger, Captain Hook, Geppetto, Pinocchio, Eeyore. That was when we went, but that was 2 years ago. Damn, it was 2 years ago. I've heard you get more like Mickey, Minnie, the classic characters. But yeah, I've not done character dining on my own, and I've not done it at Plaza Gardens in the evening. So from what I understand, Plaza Gardens in the evening is still a buffet style meal. So it's going to be a similar vibe to today, but obviously with characters. Oh, sorry, I've been awake since 2 AM British time, and it is now gone 9 French time, so it would be about 8 PM in the UK, so I'm quite tired. Yeah, so stick around and you get to see me do something new. Hey guys, so it is now Monday the 1st of April, so Pinch Punch first day of the month, and I am about to walk over to Plaza Gardens where I'm going to go do a character dining reservation, which I've never done before. I don't know what the buffet is like, I don't know what characters are going to be there, so this is a brand new experience for me as of April 2024. Obviously this may change. If you're watching this in like a year's time, the characters there might be completely different. It's based off of time, what shows they have going on, what season it is. I believe I'm going to see a lot of the classic characters from what I've read online, but let's go find out. I'm going to see if I can sneaky go down the side of the castle as well. Okay, so I've been seated. I arrived a little early, and the lady asked me to wait outside, which was really fair. That was chaos. There was no cohesion with who should be going in and who shouldn't. There was people pushing in. Went past my time slot. It actually got to 7:50. And then they called us in, so 5 minutes later I can forgive. They then wanted me to get my reservation up on the app, ready to show. And it came up to say that my reservation was cancelled, and I didn't do that. Luckily when I got up there it wasn't on their system,
but I mentioned that it's come up as cancelled, and they were like, oh, because it's recognised that you've missed your time slot. Which I then said, that doesn't really work because you're meant to give 15 minutes from our time slot as a leniency. So it should get cancelled at 8. It's not 8. At this point it was 7:55. Then get asked to wait in another area, and I was at the front of the queue, and there was a family of 4 behind me, and they were like, someone will come up and we'll seat you. And this guy come up, looked at me, looked at them, went to them and went, shall we get you seated? And so I was left standing, and I've been there before them. In the end, a waiter come up to me kind of sheepishly and was like, are you on your own? And I was like, yes. He went, oh, I'll seat you. Just because I'm solo doesn't mean I don't get the same treatment you would a big family. I'm still paying for this. I still pay for this service. I pay for the annual pass. I don't want this to sound like I'm a parent, but like, what I pay goes towards your wages. So treat me with some respect. So not a good start. They've taken my ticket now, so I'm going to wait for my drink to get here, and then I will go up and get some food. It's really busy, so I don't know how much I can vlog of the food, but I will try and vlog what is available. But yeah, so far not off to a good start. Character wise, I've seen but not met yet Pluto, Goofy, Minnie and Tigger. So a lot of classics, and they're in their classic outfits, so we'll see. I'm kind of surprised there's no Mickey. And I was under the impression there'd be 5 characters, so maybe he is here, he's just on a break, who knows. But yeah, it's 8 o'clock. We've got an hour and 50 until fireworks and stuff kick off. So normally I like to sit and take my time, but actually I'm probably only going to have about an hour and 15 before I want to get out and get a good spot. So not ideal. Tigger came over, but I got the vibe he didn't want to have a photo. He sort of shook my hand, waved and walked off. So yeah, I have no photos with Tigger so far. Yeah, I feel like this is not going to be worth the 80 euros it's meant to be, because I'm already like, I just want to eat and go. I'm eating desserts and Mickey is right behind me. Haven't seen Minnie yet. Goofy was hilarious. Goofy can stay. Oh my god, he was brilliant. Pluto was really sweet. Just Tigger was a bit weird. But yeah, Mickey's right behind me. Right. So now it's the debate of, do I keep eating or do I just wait and keep an eye on if he's there? Because I'm eating dessert now, so like, nothing's gonna get cold. It's already cold, so just need to meet Minnie in a classic outfit, and then I've got the whole gang at some point. Ready! So I'm nearly at the end of dinner, and just a little observation I made about Paris is, number 1, they love Nutella. Number 2, I'm at desserts, and dessert is usually a 1 plate and done for me. I have a sweet tooth, but I don't like anything too rich or too dense. I like quite a light dessert. What I've noticed is every single dessert that Paris has created is chocolate hazelnut. There's about 4 up there, all chocolate hazelnut. I've tried a little bit of nearly everything. There's only 2 I didn't go for because I already know I won't like them. Which I know is a whole thing to do, to try everything, but I just know they're a flavour combination that I don't like. One that's got like a really heavy raspberry, like jam, jelly, and not my vibe. But out of the like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 I had on my plate, I liked 3. It's not a good ratio, and it's because a lot of the flavours are really heavy, rich chocolate and hazelnut, and I like the combination. Hazelnut chocolate is delicious, but when it's every dessert, it's overwhelming, and you can't even tell the difference between which dessert you eat. Like, there's a profiterole here that I was quite excited by, but it's chocolate. It's filled with a massive lump of chocolate hazelnut. In actual fact, profiterole itself is no thicker than my nail. So what you're getting is a fritter roll, which is kind of the selling point. You don't get a lot of it, it's all just as cream, and there's another dessert it's literally different layers of chocolate and hazelnut in different formats. So like a mousse, a ganache, a cream, a cake, it's all the same flavour. It's really dense. Yeah. I've had a couple of character meet and greets, as I mentioned. They went well. I haven't seen Minnie, and Minnie's the one I've kind of come here locking that in, because I've never met Minnie in her classic polka dot dress. And although I'll only better get a selfie with her because I'm on my own, I would like to get it. I'd like to meet her. But so far the vibe I'm getting is I 150% would prefer to be here with other people. And I don't often feel that way about eating out on my own. Eating out on my own is actually one of my favourite things to do. I don't like doing a lot of stuff on my own, but eating out on my own is one of them. And yeah, just having someone, because the characters roam around without like a chaperone, that's the word I was looking for. I don't know what this was. Chaperone. They don't walk around with chaperone in here. So it means when they come and say hello to you, there is no one to ask, can you take this photo for me? And everyone's around you is very busy. And obviously there is, I don't like using this as a reason, there is a language barrier sometimes. So I've only managed to get selfies with them, and for €80, I would quite like to have more than that. Yeah, so I personally would not do this again on my own. But now I know, it's my first time doing a character dining on my own. So I now know it's not my way to meet characters. I like when they're in a structured environment, there's someone there to take a picture. So I'm gonna let this sit and settle, and then I am gonna go up, and the 3 desserts, so they're right behind the camera. The 3 desserts I did like, I am gonna get those again. Because at the moment I've just got a really rich chocolatey flavour in my mouth. And one of them is chocolate hazelnut with orange, and my drink is Fanta. So drinking the Fanta is making it worse. I've just realised I've been a massive idiot. So the drones and the fireworks start at 22:50. My brain went, yeah, 9:50. Because I'm an idiot and I can't tell the time. 22:50. Well, if you want to make that a 24-hour clock, you take off 12 from the 22. That makes 10. 10:50. I have an hour and 50 minutes before the parade, and I have no idea, not parade, fireworks and drones. I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to do with that time. I like rushed through this food. And I'm incredibly overstimulated and overwhelmed, so I do need to get out of here, but like, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? I didn't think this through. Okay, so I've just walked out of Plaza Gardens. From having the character dinner, and I'm giving it 1.5 out of 5 stars. I think I might be a little harsh there, but that is what I'm giving it. As a, hold on, I just realised my hat's twisted. There we go, it's in the middle. So as a solo diner, my stepcom, as a solo diner, the experience wasn't very pleasant. Now the character meet and greets in general were pretty good. Tigger was on one. He like I said, he come and shook my hand at the beginning, and I was like, oh, it's lovely to meet you, Tigger. And then he just walked away. He sort of went hello and then walked off. I was like, oh, like he'll come back. And when he did, and I was like, oh, do you want to get in a photo of me and Eeyore? Yeah. I'm going to insert some picture here. Yeah. He turned his back to us, and even like just walked away. I was like, oh, I've obviously done something to upset Tigger. My theory is maybe it's someone who maybe Tigger is friends with someone I'm friends with, if you get what I'm saying. But I don't know anyone at the moment who works here who would be friends with Tigger. But yeah, Tigger was odd. All the other characters really lovely, really polite, took their time. Goofy was hilarious. Come over, he immediately started giving me a massage. And then he was like, no, you got to give me one back. So I gave him one back, and I was like, okay, well. I then asked for a selfie, and this is where it gets good, really. I said to him, I know you're taller than me by quite a bit, but do you think we can try and get a selfie? And he started laughing. Because, you know, I'm not the shortest in the world, but I'm not tall. I'm only 5'5". And he touched his nose like, oh, hold up. He pulled my chair out, and then he sat in it, which meant he was my height, and so we could take a selfie. I thought it was genius. So I said to him, oh, Goofy, you're smarter than smarter than people think you are. But next, so you know, remember that, like, you're really clever. He was, and you know, he's like, and I said to him, just don't go doing something clumsy now, because I think that might be why people think you're not so bright. And then he imitated walking into the wall and hurting his nose, which got all the kids around me laughing, and so then he got interacting with them doing it again. So he actually used my interaction to go into another group, and he was really good. The food was the second worst bit. The food just wasn't to my taste. Actually, that's a lie. There was stuff there that was. The lamb, so flavourful, but it was cold. The chicken, lukewarm, but dry as anything. Oh my god. It was like eating sandpaper, congealed together with glue. It was tough, chewy and dry. Salmon, again, actually was quite nice, and the butter sauce that came in was good, but it was cold. Nothing up there was heated by the hot plates they're in. Everything was lukewarm at best. And as I mentioned already in this vlog, you know, the desserts, everything was somewhat chocolate based. And the reality is you don't need chocolate to make it a dessert. I know, shock, but yeah, so I've left feeling a little bit sick because of all the chocolate and the richness of it, and yeah. So if you're a chocolate lover, you'll have a ball with that. If Taylor's watching, which she normally does watch these vlogs, you will really enjoy their desserts. So many like chocolate and sweet and Nutella-y based things. She would have a field day. But ultimately the food really let it down. Really let it down. Like, at full price, that's €80. Now I use manual pass discount, so I got 20% off. But that's €80 per adult. And for me to walk out and say the food was, you know, The food at Pim's, even though yesterday's food wasn't the best I've had at Pim's, that was still 10 times better. So yeah, the food was the second worst thing. The first worst thing was the staff. They were just... Don't get me wrong, I'm quite socially awkward. I don't really like asking for things, but I will when I need something. So, you know, like if I want to order another drink and say, hey, actually I want to have another drink, they'll probably tell me I have to go order it up at the till point, which is super busy, but there's ways around doing it. And yeah, the server sort of sat me and just left me. It wasn't until I was basically nearly finished my desserts that a server who I'd not met before, and I was like, hey, English? And I was like, yes. And he was like, yep, I'm your server from here on out, let me know if there's anything you need. And I was like, well, actually, I'm waiting for Minnie Mouse and then I'm going to go. And she was right behind me. And so I had my photo of Minnie Mouse, and then suddenly Eeyore appeared, and my server's giving me a thumbs up. So I think he rounded up the last few to come and say goodbye. So he was lovely, but just the general vibe, like watching staff interact with each other, there was a lot of shouting. Even in a different language, I could tell that was shouting. Just everyone seemed to be really rude with each other. And there was no cohesion with who was there on time and not. Again, there was a little bit of attitude when they were like, well, you cancelled your reservation. And I was like, no, I haven't. And they were like, oh, we have it on the system. I was like, well, then I haven't cancelled it. So ultimately this was not the most positive experience. I've left not exactly full but feeling sick, and my anxiety is now really high, and it's the first time on this trip really where I've felt, other than If you watch the vlog from before this one, you'll know the fire alarm. Woo-hoo. Other than that, which genuinely set me into a panic attack, like stood at my bed, like at my hotel room door having a panic attack. Other than that, this is the first time I felt anxious since being here, which is a really big feat for me. And I feel very overwhelmed and overstimulated by the noises, the sounds, the smells, the general rudeness. So yeah, not the best experience. I have no intention of doing this again on my own. If I'm with a group of people and they want to come do this, I would. But I would say let's go for the breakfast instead. Because the breakfast, pretty much all the hotels, is very similar. So although I probably could get the breakfast for free at a hotel, I know that they do a good breakfast. We've done it before. And it feels like similar characters, so yeah. Tomorrow I've got Waltz. I'm unsure if I'm going to it or not, which is a statement. It's a lot of money. And I'm on my own, and I've done it before on my own, and I'll order the exact same food. But on the other hand, it's, well, what else do I do with my day, and where do I eat? So yeah, I'll keep you posted. You will find out in a few seconds if I went to Waltz. For me, it's going to be a good, 14 hours?
Hello again everyone. So I'm speaking quietly because I'm in Waltz and I want to be respectful to the people around me. So I did decide to come. It is the last day. My appointment was at 11:30. I had in my head it was 11:45, but it was 11:30. I'm glad I checked. Actually, I'm glad my phone gave me a notification because I put all these in weeks and weeks ago. So when I got the notification at 11, I went, that makes sense. So yeah, thank you very much. So yeah, pleasant as always, lovely staff, really good service so far. I've not ordered what I always order, kind of. I've decided to go for the sweet corn soup. Generally I'm not a soup person, but I always get the chicken pot pie because it is really, really lovely. But then I also get the chicken main, and kind of didn't want to do double chicken today. So I'm going for the sweet corn soup, then I've got the roast chicken, and then I've got a lemon meringue pie for dessert. Again, I can't drink, so I'm not having wine with this, although I would normally love to, so I'm getting a Fanta. The Colours Parade, because I can't remember the name of it, the Colours Parade went past just as I was coming in. And I'll show you my view. I've not exactly got a parade view, but I've got a really nice view. And I'm in the end of Waltz that is themed on Frontierland, because each section of Waltz is based on one of the lands in the park. And this is definitely Frontierland, seeing cowboys, Indian, buffalo. There's a book that says Western Empire, so it's definitely given that kind of old Western vibe. I'm very excited by my dessert. Just sharing that now. Very excited. I haven't tried it yet. I can smell it. So that was Waltz. Honestly, the service was phenomenal. Sorry, I'm staring at Disneyland Castle and there's window cleaners and I got very distracted, sorry. Yeah, the service was incredible. She was really friendly, attentive. All my food was impeccably well placed. It was always hot. Yeah, she cleaned down my table after I'd had my main, and then checked I was okay, and then brought my dessert, and then asked if I want tea or coffee. I know that's the basics, but she's really friendly about it, really polite. At one point I was vlogging and she sort of came over and you may have seen I was kind of and she was like, no, keep going. I was like, okay. Whereas normally I will pause and be polite for them. She was like, no, keep going.
And when I finished filming that little bit where I talked to you about being in Waltz, she came over and was like, "You're doing great," with thumbs up. So I don't know what she thought I was doing, but I'm gonna be honest, it wasn't great. But yeah, I always think I forget how much I actually like Waltz, because how do I put this politely? The vibe that is Waltz is not my vibe. It is very fancy, you know, you do get a little bit of imposter syndrome sitting there. You know, you feel like you should be dressed nice. I'm in 2 t-shirts, a Spirit jersey, a hoodie, and my rain mat, like a mini ears. It feels very posh. And I, although brought up very well and spoke very well and was made to dress very well, I am not posh. Inherently, my personality does not fit that. So, yeah, normally I avoid Waltz unless it's a really special occasion, like the 30th anniversary one. Absolutely. When I was here on my own at Christmas a few years ago, I got a reservation and I was really nervous about it. And again, I don't know why, because I was put at ease by my server within minutes. Sweet corn soup was really nice. Again, soup is not my favourite thing in the world. So I got about halfway through and realised that I was very much done with it. Not that it wasn't nice, it was very sweet. They put smoked popcorn in it because he apparently loved popcorn. The reality is the soup made it soggy, so it wasn't really that crunchy. And the flavouring that was on the popcorn, this kind of like smoked paprika, I feel like that was needed in the whole soup rather than just on a few bits of popcorn. But it was really nice. I would give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. The bread that was given to me for my soup, that's a 5 out of 5 with butter. Oh, I don't normally eat salted butter, but that butter is very salty, but I do actually quite like it. My chicken main, as always, 5 out of 5. Delicious. I adored it. And then the lemon meringue sort of deconstructed pie, I'm going to give 4 out of 5. The only complaint I have is I think it needs a bit more meringue. But I am a sucker for meringue. I'll just eat a big tub of it. So that may be a me. So I give it 4 just because I feel like it needs a bit more meringue. Doing it in the Mickey shape as the head is a great idea. Like, you know, sticks with the theme in. But it is quite thin. So you do start to feel like you don't get enough meringue. But yeah, that's me done for food. Thank you for joining me on this version of a vlog. Yeah, if you haven't seen the vlog where I was on this trip, doing all the things and the bits and the whatevers, go check it out. It's already been posted, so I don't know why you haven't watched it. So like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.